Breaking, Trump's new immigration crackdown, the fear across America. Immigrants in the United States are more anxious than ever. Naturalized citizens, green card holders, students, tourists, and undocumented individuals are all feeling the tightening grip of President Trump's policies. Even U.S. citizens by naturalization now consult attorneys about whether it is safe to travel abroad. Some worry they may be detained or even stripped of citizenship, fears that are not always justified but are deeply felt. For lawful permanent residents and visa holders, the sense of insecurity is even greater. Every month, rules shift, priorities change, and what seemed safe yesterday may suddenly carry serious risk today. The uncertainty makes long-term planning difficult. People who once dreamed of building careers or raising families now hesitate, unsure if their future in the United States will remain secure. From felons to everyone. When Trump first announced his enforcement priorities, officials said the focus would be on serious criminals, terrorists, and individuals who posed threats to national security. Many accepted this as fair and necessary. That position has since shifted. Over time, the definition of an enforcement priority has widened dramatically. Even minor offenses or past immigration violations can now make a person a target. A shoplifting conviction, a simple traffic matter, or overstaying a visa can now draw the attention of enforcement officers. What once seemed insignificant may suddenly carry the risk of deportation. This expansion of priorities has blurred the lines. Instead of focusing only on dangerous individuals, the system now casts a wide net that entangles people who pose no real threat. Out of status as a target. Perhaps the most alarming change is the treatment of immigrants who are out of status. In earlier years, being out of status was mostly a paperwork problem that could be corrected. Now, it is considered an enforcement priority. People with no crimes, no violent history, and no threat to society may still be detained simply for overstaying their legal permission. Day laborers waiting outside a hardware store are not terrorists. They are not violent criminals. Yet under this policy shift, they are categorized in the same way and face removal. The message from the administration is unmistakable. Any violation of immigration law, no matter how minor, is enough to justify enforcement, and that has created widespread fear. The new risks at USCIS. The very act of applying for an immigration benefit has become riskier. In the past, if an adjustment of status application was denied, the worst outcome was disappointment and the chance to try again. Today, denial can mean immediate deportation. There are reports of ICE agents waiting outside USCIS interviews. Applicants who leave their appointments denied may walk directly into custody. A notice to appear can now follow quickly after denial. What was once a second chance process has become a trigger for deportation proceedings. Attorneys warn clients that every interview must be approached with full preparation. A careless answer, a missing document, or a misunderstanding could carry consequences far more serious than before. The broken promise of amnesty. During Trump's first term, he publicly suggested that amnesty could be considered once the southern border was secured. Many immigrants clung to this statement as a source of hope. Now, Trump claims the border has been secured. He points to a sharp decline in crossings compared with the Biden years, declaring victory on one of his core campaign promises. But instead of amnesty, the White House is now clear there will be none. His press secretary, Caroline Levin, has flatly stated that Trump will not support legalization for undocumented immigrants in any form. This reversal has crushed expectations. For years, the message was that border security was the condition for legalization. Now that condition has supposedly been met, but the promise has disappeared. For the millions of undocumented immigrants who have lived and worked in the United States for years, this new position leaves them in limbo with little hope of relief. The politics behind the crackdown. Trump has made immigration enforcement central to his political identity. Every crackdown, every deportation policy, and every restriction plays well with his base and lifts his poll numbers. With another election looming, there is no incentive to soften. Deportations and strict enforcement are popular. They fuel campaign rallies, headlines, and social media talking points that help maintain political momentum. Congress, meanwhile, has been unable or unwilling to pass meaningful immigration reform. With lawmakers deadlocked, Trump has turned executive authority into his tool for reshaping the system through enforcement. The result is a system driven more by politics than by policy. Decisions are shaped by poll numbers and campaign slogans rather than by balanced reforms or long-term stability. The human cost. Behind the headlines are families living in fear. Attorneys describe clients facing daily anxiety about interviews, travel, or even simple encounters with authorities. Naturalized citizens question whether it is safe to travel for vacation. Green card holders hesitate to apply for citizenship, fearing they may come under additional scrutiny or lose status in the process. The sense of trauma is widespread. Every application, every denial, every minor violation carries the potential of deportation. The weight of uncertainty has become a constant burden. Communities also feel the strain. Children fear that parents may not return home from work. Employers lose workers overnight. Churches and community groups see growing numbers of people asking for help. The end of do-it-yourself. In the past, many immigrants chose to prepare and file applications on their own. If something went wrong, they turned to an attorney after denial to try again. That era is over. Denial now brings a real possibility of removal. Once an applicant is placed in proceedings, fixing the situation becomes far more complicated, sometimes impossible. This is why legal guidance has shifted from optional to essential. Attorneys can review eligibility, anticipate risks, and present cases in the strongest possible way. The cost of mistakes is too high. Lawyers now describe their role less as advisors and more as protectors. Their job is not only to win approvals but also to shield clients from the dangerous consequences of denial. The new reality. For anyone applying for a benefit, whether adjustment of status, visa renewal, work authorization, or citizenship, the stakes are higher than they have been in decades. Each application must be prepared with precision. Each piece of evidence must be carefully reviewed. And each interview must be approached with complete readiness, as outcomes now carry life-altering consequences. What once was a process with second chances is now a system where denial can mean deportation. That is the reality under Trump's immigration crackdown. The bottom line is simple. Caution is no longer optional. It is essential for survival within today's immigration system. Closing thoughts. Trump once floated the idea of amnesty. That idea is now gone. Instead, enforcement priorities have expanded, risk has increased, and millions of immigrants feel more vulnerable than ever. Green card holders, visa applicants, and undocumented individuals all face new dangers. Even naturalized citizens are now asking questions about travel and denaturalization that were unthinkable only a few years ago. The message could not be clearer. Stay cautious, stay informed, and above all, seek qualified legal guidance before taking any steps with immigration paperwork. If you liked this video, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and turn on the bell icon for future updates. Thanks for watching, see you in the next video.